Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am reading a 911 fic. It is called Firefighter Down. It is a one shot and it's done. It's done. Whoa. This is crazy, guys. I never record these when the fic is done. But this is a one shot. That's why it's done. So, oh my god, no, because this makes me really happy. This fic in particular has been a work in progress since like the end of July or something. And oh my god. I logged in and I finished it. Oh my god. It has over 12,000 words. I don't know how many parts I'll split this into. Just really depends how I'm feeling. If I want to leave you on a big cliffhanger, not so big cliffhanger. You know, I just know where I'm ending for this video and then I'll figure the rest out later, you know? So, anyways. Yeah. So I'll read the summary and then I'll start reading the fic. And yeah, I really hope you guys enjoy this because honestly, it's just like this one, it was really spontaneous. This idea just like popped out of my brain and I went, that's a real good idea. It's also I've had this idea since I watched the episode that it's based off of, or not based off of, but like it starts from what happens in that. You know, you'll figure it out. Okay. Here's the summary. Buck isn't the brightest person you'll ever meet, but he definitely is the most sympathetic and empathetic person you'll ever meet. So when he accidentally hurts Eddie, his best friend, while they're playing basketball because he was trying to get his attention, Buck's dropping to his knees before Eddie can even hit the ground. Or a cannon-divergent fic of the episode 7x04, Buck, Bothered and Bewildered. Buck isn't the brightest person you'll ever meet, but he definitely is the most sympathetic and empathetic person you'll ever meet. So when he accidentally hurts Eddie, his best friend, while they're playing basketball because he was trying to get his attention, Buck's dropping to his knees before Eddie can even hit the ground. Shit, Buck exclaimed, hands hovering over Eddie's prone form. Eddie's face was scrunched up in pain, but his eyes couldn't help but look at Buck. Eddie, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to. Buck cut himself off as Chim made his way over to them. Buck moved out of Chim's way, but he didn't move away from Eddie's side, so Eddie turned his head to look at him. It's fine, Buck. It's not your fault, he said, reaching a hand out towards Buck. The man just looked at it before cradling it in his. Eddie smiled. Chim told them that he thought Eddie had a tib-fib fracture. You should definitely get to the hospital, Chim said, standing up. Buck was about to say that he would take Eddie to the hospital when Tommy spoke up. Apparently Evan can't be trusted near Eddie, he said, causing Buck to flinch at the use of his first name. Eddie squeezed his hand. So I'll take him to the hospital. Apparently, Chim could see how uncomfortable the man was making Buck, and the way Eddie was glaring at him since he spoke up for the two of them indirectly. Do you know Eddie's medical history? He asked, arms crossed over his chest. Tommy blinked at him. Why does that matter? Evan doesn't know it either, Tommy tried to defend, as Buck helped Eddie off of the ground. I know every detail about Eddie's medical history from ages 14 and up, Buck declared. It was true. Buck had asked Eddie if he could go through his medical stuff because he was trying to find a certain document about Chris, and he ended up reading a bunch of Eddie's documents. He ended up telling Eddie about it afterwards because he felt bad, but Eddie just brushed it off and said, it's only fair. I mean, I know so much about your medical history and you know next to nothing about mine. And now you'll be able to tell the hospital anything they may need to know in case I'm brought in again. Buck had pinched Eddie's arm for that last comment. Tommy's eyes were wide as he stared at Buck and Eddie. There's no way you memorized your best friend's medical history, he declared. When Eddie was 16, he was brought to the hospital for a broken arm because his sister had used too much force when they were fighting in karate class, Buck said, eyes never leaving Tommy's. Eddie has never told that story to anyone in the 118. It was in his medical history. Tommy was blanching. Buck took that as an invitation to start walking away. He quickly and carefully got Eddie into his Jeep, making sure not to jostle his leg. Buck sent one last glare towards the basketball court before rounding the Jeep and getting in on the driver's side. The two of them sat in a comfortable silence as Buck drove to the hospital. That was until Buck's phone started blowing up. He was confused, but ultimately decided to check it when they got to the hospital because he was not going to ask Eddie to grab his phone from his back pocket. Once they got to the hospital, Buck explained Eddie's injury and the doctors whisked him away. It was only 5 minutes later when Buck could finally check his phone. Oh, how he wished he'd been able to check his phone sooner. He had several missed calls and texts from Carla. Carla, 1435. Where are you? Carla, 1436. Buck, where are you? Carla, 1436. Eddie isn't answering his phone. Carla, 1437. Are you with him? Carla, 1437. Answer your phone. Carla, 1437. Text me your location. Carla, 1438. Christopher needs you. Carla, 1438. It's about Christopher. Carla, 1439. Buckaroo, I need you to answer your phone. Carla, 1439. Please. Carla, 1440. Christopher needs you or Eddie. Carla, 1440. He needs one of his dads. Buck, 1445. Carla, where are you? What happened? Carla, 1445. We're on our way to Presbyterian. We're in an ambulance. Christopher got really hurt. Buck, 1445. What's your ETA? Carla, 1445. 2 minutes. Buck, 1446. I'm already at Presbyterian. I'll wait for you guys. Carla, 1446. You guys are off shift. Why are you a Presbyterian? Buck, 1446. Basketball injury? Carla, 1446. Who's hurt? Buck, 1447. Apparently both Diaz's. Buck ran outside and watched as the ambulance, for the 124, came in. He ran to the ambulance bay as the driver got out. The ambulance doors opened and Buck watched as Christopher was unloaded on a stretcher. He made eye contact with Carla, who was helped out of the ambulance by a paramedic. She hugged him. Buck could barely register what the paramedics were saying as they explained Christopher's injuries to the trauma team. He and Carla were following along the stretcher as they spoke. His hearing finally decided to kick in when one of the paramedics said, "He has a fractured skull and he seems to have a spinal injury. He lost bladder control on the way here." Buck's eyes widened. "We need to get him to surgery immediately," one of the doctors said. "Call Dr. Bruce and have him on standby. This kid could need brain surgery as well as a laminectomy. Get someone to prepare the OR." The other doctors nodded as they made their way down the hall. The doctor turned to Carla and Buck, who were staring down the corridor that Christopher was led through. "Are you the boy's parents?" the doctor asked, breaking Buck out of his stupor. No," he said, blinking at her. "His dad's currently in surgery for a tib-fib fracture. Carla's Christopher's caretaker, and I'm his dad's best friend." Buck was holding back tears. "Do either of you know his medical history? Anything you can think of that we need to know?" the doctor asked, her tone soft and gentle. "He has cerebral palsy," Buck started, thinking back to everything Eddie had told him and everything he'd read. "He's also allergic to naproxen and latex. He's had a total of 3 surgeries, and he's allergic to penicillin." Buck's breathing was ragged. He was holding back his panic attack. "Okay," the woman said, nodding. "We'll bring him back to you," she said, putting a hand on Buck's arm before jogging down the corridor. Buck stumbled backwards, away from the doors, until he hit a wall. He broke. Tears started flowing down his cheeks. Sobs broke through his throat. His knees gave out, and he slid down the wall. Carla was at his side in a moment. She had her arms wrapped around his shoulders. She was telling him that Christopher was in good hands. She told him that everything would be okay. But Buck's mind didn't let him think that. But before his brain could spiral, he heard a male voice say his name. Firefighter Buckley? The voice questioned, and Buck looked up. It was Firefighter Davis from the 124. Buck quickly wiped his eyes, which was useless because the tears weren't stopping anytime soon, and stood. "Yeah," he said, voice breaking as he held back his sobs. Firefighter Davis put a hand on his shoulder to comfort him. Davis gave him an awkward smile. "Your boy's a strong fighter. He was awake for most of the ambulance ride," Davis said, trying to reassure him. He kept asking for his dad and his Buck. Buck broke again. His knees gave out, but Firefighter Davis and another firefighter, he thinks it was Firefighter Moore, caught him. They led him to a chair in the waiting area. Carla let them go while she continued to try and comfort Buck. It took a few minutes, but Buck finally gained control of himself again. "I need to call someone," he said, fumbling for his phone. He found it and held it with shaking hands. Carla set her hand on top of his phone and said, "How about you settle for a text? I don't think you're in a state to talk." He just nodded as Carla sat next to him. Fire Family, 118's version. Firehose, 1503. Can someone join me at Presbyterian? Hen, 1505. Why are you in the hospital again? Proby, 1506. Sigh, what did you do this time? Pops, 1506. Are you okay? Bobby Nash. Scary Mama, 1506. Buckaroo, what happened? Mother, 1507. She wants to know her Uncle Buck is okay. Sissy, 1507. You need bubble wrap shaking my head. Albert, 1507. I would, but I'm not in LA. Karen, 1508. You good, Buck? Brother, 1508. Buck's fine. It's Eddie who's in the hospital. Sissy, 1508. Excuse me? Pops, 1508. What happened? Bobby Nash. Brother, 1509. We were playing pickup basketball and Buck accidentally ran into Eddie and now Eddie has a tib-fib fracture. Hen, 1509. That's concerning. Mother, 1510. I thought Buck hated basketball. Scary Mama. Same. Proby, 1511. I think Buck felt left out because Eddie's been hanging out with Tommy. Sad face. Brother, 1511. How did you know that? You haven't been on A shift in a while. Proby, 1511. I have eyes in the sky, winky face. Albert, 1512. It's me. I'm the eyes in the sky. Firehose, 1512. I wasn't asking because Eddie's here. Pops, 1513. Then why? Bobby Nash. Brother, 1513. Now I'm concerned. Mother, 1513. Buck? Firehose, 1514. Christopher was brought in. Karen, 1514. Why? Hen, 1514. What happened? Sissy, 1515. Is he okay? Scary Mama, 1515. Does Eddie know? Firehose, 1516. He fractured his skull and probably has a spinal injury. I don't know why. Carla called me, and Eddie's in surgery, so I haven't told him yet. Brother, 1517. I'm on my way. Scary Mama, 1517. Bobby and I are leaving now. Sissy, 1517. Harry, Ravi, and I are on the way. Hen, 1518. Leaving now. Karen, 1518. Daddy and Mara are with us. Mother, 1518. G and I are coming. Albert, 1518. Sending prayers. Firehose, 1520. Sorry, I was crying. Firehose, 1520. Thank you guys. Heart emoji. Okay, guys, so that's it for this one. I hope you guys liked it. This is just the tip of the iceberg. There was a lot more where that came from. Yeah. I don't have a lot to say right now. I'm just like really tired and I want to go to sleep. So, well, I'm not gonna go to sleep like right after I finish filming this. I'm actually gonna go eat Takis and then watch something. Don't know what I'm gonna watch. And then I'll probably go to sleep because I have plans. I have plans tomorrow. Not that I'm not excited for those plans. I'm just like, they're not till the afternoon, so I'm okay. I can just sleep in. But I don't want to sleep in. I have 3 days left in my fall break. Yeah, anyways, yeah, my last recording cut out, so I'm sorry. I'm out of space, so that's fun. Yeah, so anyways, I had to cut this short. I hope you guys have a great day, night, morning, evening, wherever you are, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!